Okay. Hello, everyone. How you doing? I'm sorry I started the stream really late. I'm gonna have another Mafia part for you guys early tomorrow. I just finished the Remy Duval storyline in Mafia 3. I just been so busy today working on so many projects. And I'm also been working on 2 Mafia shorts that I'm gonna put out this weekend. So I just been working on a lot of projects. That's why it, yeah, that's why I started kind of late. But I promised the GTA stream I'm gonna start a lot earlier than this. Hey, TY, Jimmy, CJ, Demigod, Tommy, Jonathan, Gilted, Mason, Seth, Smooth. No, I didn't hear about that, Minion Dave. Hi, everyone. How you guys doing today? Hey, Jonathan. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jonathan. Bought some Battlefield Hardline campaign. Battlefield Hardline's campaign was actually one of the best Battlefield campaigns. It actually had a pretty strong story. Oh, it is, Mason. I didn't know that. Yeah, Battlefield Hardline is a great game. You guys can join the posse. It's open. Retaliation squads will come at you the moment you enter the Conquer district. Their combat behavior when on foot is Rising Sun. Yeah, I actually got jumped by them a bunch in Mafia 3. I got jumped by Remy's people constantly. Thank you, Lendon. But I killed all of them. Hey, Probe, I wanted to ask, but you think you would ever do a reaction stream where you react to things people in chat recommend to you? Maybe, but I don't really want to turn into a react channel, because if I do, because react content doesn't really require much hard work. It isn't, it's just, you know, anybody can do it, and it's like reacting to other people's work. So I don't know. I am gonna do one react video, and the one react video I'm gonna do is, early this, next week coming up, I'm gonna do a reaction to that, Saints Fan Godzilla's video on the original Saints Row 5 project. Oh, I didn't know that one, London. Did I play a game called Hades? No, I don't think I have. No, don't believe those posts, Minion Dave. It's not getting delayed. Thank you, Seth, for the super chat. Jay Norris's ghost? I'm trying to remember why Lester had Jay Norris killed again. Wasn't it because he wanted to buy Life Invader stock? Did I hear about hackers on Battlefield 6 multiplayer? I did a little bit. I know EA is cracking down on that right now. Yeah, it was Life Invader stock. That was the primary reason. The new call to arms map, Bronte's Mansion. No, I haven't. I might try that a little bit later now that you say it. Should I wait for Battlefield 6 to go on sale? Might as well. It's, you know, Black Friday is going to be in a month. So it'll probably be on sale then. Hey Mari, hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy, bueno. Ahora, ahora, estoy muy ocupado. I hope I said that right in Spanish. How old man's voice play GTA Patrick for April 1st? I could probably think of something funny to do for that. Hitman Absolution isn't as good as the other Hitman games, but it's still an okay game. Don't pronounce the H in Hora. Oh, okay. Aura. Then I guess Aura? Is that how you say it? That means today in Spanish, right? That's what that means? I was trying to say it today. I was very busy. So, ahora estoy muy ocupado. Ahora is now. Oh, Ahora is now. I thought. What is today? Then today is Today is Hoy. Isn't today Hoy? Or Damn, I gotta get better at my Spanish. I'm learning Spanish, but I'm trying to get better at it. Damn. Ugh. I messed that up. Your thoughts on the Dixie Southern Union members? Bunch of scumbags. And honestly, the Southern Union might be the most evil gang in Mafia 3, especially like I got so mad at what they were doing with that supermarket mission when you go in there. Like, I killed everybody in there. I was so pissed off at them. But that was, like, anybody who engages in stuff like that, like human trafficking, like, you know, people who do stuff like that deserve the death penalty. You know, the one thing I don't think I'm ever, Hoy es viernes. Today is Friday. Yeah, Friday. Viernes is Friday. Sábado is Saturday. Domingo is Sunday. What is Monday? Miércoles is Wednesday, right? And then Jueves is Thursday. I thank you, Justin Freeman, for the super chat. You know, the one thing. The one thing I think I will never learn in Spanish, the one thing I don't think I'll ever learn, is when people use K in the middle of a sentence. Like, because I know K means what in Spanish, but then K also has, like, another meaning. And people say, like, K in the middle of sentences, and I don't think I'll ever understand the difference between what and the other version of K. It just always confuses me. Even though I've studied Spanish so much, it always confuses me a bit. Have I ever been attacked by Vietnamese internet warriors in your comment section? It happened on the Black Ops playthrough a little bit. On the Black Ops playthrough, I don't know if they were people from Vietnam, but there was people that were, you know, defending, like, the Viet Cong. And, I posted a comment today on one of Poland Ball's shorts. And, Poland Ball posted a short in which, Sweden, what was it? It was like a parody of Sweden, supporting both India and Pakistan. And I left a comment saying that Sweden in the past supported the Viet Cong. A lot of people don't know that. Sweden did help the Viet Cong during the Vietnam War, and it tried to keep good relations with the US, and at the same time claimed that it was a neutral country. And in my comment, I said that the Swedish supported the Viet Cong, which was a terrorist group, and I had people that were responding to me, like, saying, what are you talking about? The Viet Cong weren't terrorists, they were freedom fighters, blah, blah, blah. So I had people, like, you know, responding to me with that crap. But, like, you as a Vietnamese person, like, what do you think that there's, like, Westerners that, like, Westerners that like say the Viet Cong were not terrorists and they were freedom fighters. How evil the Confederate Virginia and read previous cons. The Confederacy was evil. You know, it was a state that was, you know, a country that was created to defend slavery. It was an evil creation. Do you mean when somebody says, like, K, well, I mean, like, when people use K in the middle of a sentence, like, it's, because K has two meanings, I know that, like, the first meaning is what, and then it has, like, another meaning, like, it's in the middle of a sentence, people will say K, I forget the other meaning, but it confuses me so much, because, like, when I see K in a Spanish sentence in the middle of it, I always assume it means what, but then I get, I just get confused. Thank you, Suppressor, for that super chat, Which state had the most battles in the Confederacy? I think probably Virginia. Virginia, I think, had the most battles. Which was the most Confederate? What, you mean, like, the biggest supporter of the Confederacy? Probably, like, Alabama and Mississippi. South Carolina also. I think the people who praise the VCs are ignorant. Probably the same bunch who cheered for the Provisional IRA during the Troubles. And don't get me started on what happened to the Viet Cong after the war.
What the hell?
Well, and this is what I will say. What the this is what I will say. What the people don't understand about, like, these Vietnam War, like, revisionists. Like, here's the thing: is there's a lot of people out there that think that just because you, like, condemn the Viet Cong, that automatically means that you're saying that the U.S. was good, where the U.S. probably should not have been in the Vietnam War, but what people don't understand is that you can have a war where both sides are wrong. A lot of people don't understand that. They think that in war, automatically one side is, you know, the good guys and one side is the bad, but you can have a war where both sides are wrong. You know, it happens in history. And that's, you know, what people don't understand. But, like, you know, just because, and look, just because somebody is against the Vietnam War doesn't mean that you can't say that the Viet Cong were evil people, which is what they were. The Viet Cong were a terrorist group. States' rights not excusable since their reason for fighting for their rights was to keep slavery legal. States' rights inexcusable. No, I agree with you 100%, Lendon. And there's this neo-Confederate propaganda out there. I actually talk about it on my next Mafia 3 part that I'm going to have up tomorrow. But, like, for example, like, there's this neo-Confederate propaganda where people will say the War of Northern Aggression. But what people don't know is that it was actually the South who attacked the North first in the Civil War. It was the Battle of Fort Sumter. It was the South bombed Fort Sumter. That's what they did. The Confederacy attacked Union troops at Fort Sumter. So that was the first battle of the Civil War. It was not, the war was not started by the North. It was started by the South. Please tell me you put down Chester. You're talking about that boss in that supermarket? Yeah, I killed him. I killed all the other guys, too. Bro, do you know that Thompson submachine gun did see combat during the Irish Civil War? The IRA bought hundreds of Thompsons from the U.S. and they were effective. The pro-treaty forces also used them. Yeah, that is true. I know about that. If you play Empire of Sin, in Empire of Sin, there's one Irish guy that you can play as, and his brother is actually in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, supporting the IRA, and there's, like, a quest where you can help him. There's, like, that. But yeah, the IRA did some pretty nasty, horrible things. They have targeted civilians. That's enough. I've had it, you Brad. After it still hits after 90 years. Crazy to think I was only bored a few weeks later, but for real, no. Bully 2 is insane, Rockstar. What the F? Ooh, Yeah, I know they had plans for a Bully 2, but they canceled it, unfortunately. No, there was no option to even recruit, but I wouldn't have recruited him either way, Lendon. I was going to kill him.
You have plans as well?
Yeah, I know that, Bunny.
I have arranged for some buyers, and I need you to make a delivery.
Did North Vietnam really respect the Viet Cong, or did they mostly fund them as bots to cause chaos to help the NVA cause more damage to the US and South Vietnam, but not really respect them? The Viet Cong were basically what I would describe as useful idiots. That's what the Viet Cong were. They were useful idiots for the NVA. After the Vietnam War, the Viet Cong were expecting to get seats in the government, and they got no seats. They got no representation in the government, nothing. And so the NVA just used them and then threw them away when the Vietnam War ended. So they didn't need them anymore. And honestly, every single Viet Cong soldier that got betrayed by North Vietnam deserved it. Every single one. They were part of a terrorist organization and they fought for like communism. Like, what did they think was going to happen? So literally, every single one that got screwed over by North Vietnam after that deserved it. Hey, Pro, what are your thoughts about the new Arc Raiders game coming out? And are you going to play it? Arc Raiders is the first time I heard about it, Mike. What kind of game is it? Arc Raiders? You don't have to super chat me again if you could explain a little bit more about the game, Mike. I just don't know anything about it. Were the Viet Cong farmers, or is that a misconception? The Viet Cong were everything from farmers to people that lived in cities. Some of them were from cities, too. Can you invite me to the posse? Unknown Notion, you can just join the posse. It's open, so the second I deliver, you can join. Where was I when 9/11 happened? I was at home. My mom didn't wake me up to go to school that day. I remember it, too. My mom was watching TV all day. I didn't seem to understand what was happening, everything. I was 8 years old when that happened. It was a little hard for me to process. Yeah, I can do Call to Arms a little bit later. They told me to keep moving, and okay, well... Yes, Brennan, what's up? Did you hear about that guy who went to Vietnam to bring his friends a beer? Yes, I did actually hear about that. Yes, it was made into a movie. Yes. Zac Efron plays the guy, I know that. Why didn't Arab countries unite like the US? Because they're very different from each other. Like, you know, you look at a country like Iraq and Syria. Iraq and Syria were both Ba'athist dictatorships, so they had the exact same ideology. So they were both Ba'athist states, which Ba'athism is basically, you could make an argument Ba'athism is kind of like a version of like Arab fascism. It's like an ultra-nationalist, like, you know, very like right-wing, like dictatorship view. It's like al-Assad was like a dictator of Syria, and then, you know, Saddam Hussein was dictator of Iraq. But about it is, even though they were both Ba'athist countries, they both hated each other, and they both didn't like each other. And that's what a lot of the Arab countries, they don't like each other. They might speak the same language, but they're not always, you know, like Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. You know, for example, all three of those countries had problems with each other. You know, and Syria and Egypt have had problems. So there's never gonna be like a united Arab state. Like, it's never gonna happen. It's like you have a higher chance of winning the lottery than the Arab states uniting into one country. Do I think Joe survived in Mafia 2? Well, people are telling me he did. He appears at the end of Mafia 3. So I think he did. Oh yeah, Yemen and Saudi Arabia hate each other too. You're right on that. Oh, Okay, thank you, Brandon. Which one was that, Gunner? Was that the one with the War of Lithuania? Read the Virginia is the South Speed Trap comments. Also, I want to show you the Shade Chernobyl expedition for the next membership exclusive. Yeah, we could watch it. Do you have any tips for quitting soda? Yeah. Find another drink that you like, that isn't as unhealthy. Like, there's a lot of juice that you can find. You can also find like iced tea, which iced tea is, I know, isn't the most healthy thing for you, but iced tea is just way more healthier than like soda. Pro, why did the U.S. provide so much military support to Pakistan in the 1960s? Well, it was the reason that the United States helped Pakistan so much in the 60s is because Pakistan basically gave them everything they wanted. So, like, the U.S. wanted, like, for example, the U.S. went to India first. They wanted India to be an ally of theirs. Even in the 1950s, India refused. India wanted, like, closer relations with the Soviet Union, and they wanted closer relations with China. And so India refused. When the U.S. went to Pakistan, Pakistan basically gave the U.S. everything that they wanted. And Pakistan also let the U.S. fly spy planes from their country over the Soviet Union. Like, the U-2 spy plane incident, that plane took off from Pakistan. So, that was primarily over that, is that basically is Pakistan did whatever the U.S. wanted them to do, where India didn't. That's basically the backstory on that. There was, I would say is the stupidest thing the U.S. did when it came to, like, India relations is when the U.S. had supported Pakistan in the 1971 war. That was really stupid because Pakistan invaded Bangladesh and they killed a lot of innocent people, and the U.S. supported Pakistan in that, and that was, like, the stupidest thing the U.S. did in that situation. It really pissed India off. But India, the stupidest thing that India did is India supported China. That was the stupidest thing they did. And when, Mao Zedong took over China and had, like, massacred millions of people, India openly recognized his government. And not only that, India was, like, lobbying for China to actually get a United Nations, like, Security Council seat. So, like, one of the reasons that China got their Security Council seat was because of India. And then what happened, India assumed that because they helped China so much that China would be, like, their best friend. But what China did was China betrayed India. And what they did was they invaded northern India and they took over, northern India. And there's parts of China today that was originally Indian. It is Indian land, but the Chinese stole it from India. And that was, the stupidest thing India did. It backfired on them really badly, supporting China so much. But that was their dumb thing they did. But yeah, that was India's stupidest mistake, is supporting China so much. And you're supporting an unstable, power-hungry, evil dictator like Mao Zedong. Like, I don't know why they were so surprised that China betrayed them. By that, they thought that, helping China so much that China will be their friend, but it just backfired really badly on them. Yeah, parlaying with this person here. Do you have any knowledge of the Falklands War? Oh, yeah. But hang on a second, let me look. Pro, I time out Aldo Delfcation. Oh, because he said F you. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for taking care of that. I saw your comment. I feel like communist countries always betray you, even if you try to be as friendly with them. Yep, they pretty much do. Because communists believe in a violent, worldwide revolution, and they will basically do anything to achieve that. Let me look here. I passed it. Hang on, Vertigo. I was saying Virginia is notorious for speed traps that drivers drive to Ohio to purposely avoid Virginia. Oh, I didn't know that, Vertigo. Yep, 7 months until GTA 6. Can I play what, Sean? cause damage in the area. Okay. I like how this one guy is like sitting here, like what the hell? Special delivery, special delivery, special delivery. Here you go. Present for you, special delivery. TikTok, what's on my clock? I remember that. It's from GTA 3. That mission gave me nightmares. When I was a kid and I played that mission gave me nightmares. I'm doing good, Christine. How are you? Hey, Pat, how you doing today, buddy? I'm doing good, Christine. How are you? Any characters that are similar to Link and Clay? To think about that one. Thank you, Exquisite Vibes, and thank you, Christine. Hey, Cube. Oliver North escapes charges of treason. Who's Oliver North again? Remind me, please. Zach is trying to ask me something. What is it, Zach? Pro, what kind of heat would the Falcons be if they murdered a high-ranking official in the FB? And would there be a joint Empire Bay FPD? Well, yeah, anytime a federal agent is murdered, the federal government gets involved. That's why that's why even the cartel members try to avoid killing like DEA agents, because it becomes a federal investigation if a DEA agent is killed. Who are you talking about, Cube? Thank you for the super chat. Iran-Contra affair, Oliver North. Oh. I'd have to look up what his role in that would be. I know what the Iran-Contra affair was. I don't know about Oliver North, but the Iran-Contra affair, that was where the government was trying to fund the Contras in Nicaragua, and so they sold weapons to Iran. Fall Guy, huh? What are the Contras? The Contras were basically a bunch of drug cartels and aggressive militias that were operating in Nicaragua that the CIA supported. Well, thank you, Brandon. Oh, hey, Mario, what other missions in the GTA games were nightmares to you? There always seems to be that one mission each game. Like creepy missions? Or, like, you mean annoying missions? I mean, the creepiest mission in Vice City was probably the mission with the killer who was trying to kill Love Fist. The creepiest mission in San Andreas... I have to think about that one. I don't know what San Andreas. San Andreas, does it really have any creepy missions? I don't know, not that I can think of. Maybe the one of Truth, when you arrive in San Fierro and you're like following those vans that appear at the hospital and you're confused on what's going on. It's a little creepy. Yeah, I have bad allergies. I'm sorry. It's just this season. Annoying missions. Oh, annoying. If Javier was so loyal to Dutch, why didn't he join him and Micah in the snow? I guess because Javier just ditched Dutch at that point. I guess he probably realized Dutch was losing it. I did not know about that, Mason. Well, I don't know if he ever found out that Vito did that menacing. What's it, Phoenix? I'm gonna take my driving test. Wait, what's wrong, Wyhand? You can ask me again. I'm gonna take my driving test next Tuesday. I'm kind of worried a bit right now. I have to pass the theory part before going on to the actual driving part. I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't worry. Just study for it. You can do it, and when you're actually driving, just drive how you would be driving normally beforehand, and you'll be fine. I think it is, Orion. What are your thoughts about Michael Jackson? I don't know, honestly. Some people say he was a good person. Some people say he was a bad person. There's people out there that say that he was guilty of what he did. Other people say that he was innocent, that he never did those things. I don't know, honestly. I did hear about that, Phoenix. Was the painting actually destroyed, Phoenix? Thoughts on Jimmy Hopkins from Bully? He's kind of power hungry at the start of the game, but then he, becomes a good person later on in the story. Thank you, Exquisite Vibes. Yeah, I mean, Javier did get, separated, but I bet he didn't even know where, he didn't even know where Dutch was. Aiden doesn't really care about who he works with as long as he just accomplishes his goal, Gunner. Weren't there drug traffickers and Cuban exiles in the Batista government in Operation 40? In Operation 40, there was some bad people in Operation 40, some former Batista members, but most of the people involved in Operation 40 were not Batista members. They were just Cuban exiles that basically fought for democracy in Cuba. There was a lot of those guys that were former, Cuban exiles in the Bay of Pigs. They were actually revolutionaries. They fought on the same side as Fidel Castro in that war, but they didn't fight for communism. They fought for, a democracy in Cuba. That's what the communists in Cuba won't tell you. They'll say, they were all CIA-backed Batista goons, when that's not true. Do I drink? I have, a glass or two of wine every month if you count that as drinking. But that's about it. Wine and champagne is the only alcohol I'll drink. How is Battlefield 6 story so far? It's okay. It could be better, but it's okay. Do you think the British deserve the Falklands Islands more than Argentina? Yes. About the Falklands is the Falkland Islands was first discovered by the French. I believe it was the French who first discovered it. And the French didn't really do anything with it. They just discovered it. The British, then, they ended up actually building, towns on the Falklands. And the Falklands had no native people. There was no native people that actually lived on the Falklands. They were just deserted islands. The British built towns and settlements on there. And the Falklands were part of Britain even before Argentina was a country. And so Argentina's main argument on that is that it's right next door to their country. But that's not, it was Britain that developed the Falklands, and the Falklands never had, an Argentinian population that lived on it. So that's basically the whole backstory on it. is Henry and Micah's similarity on why they became an informant. I can't remember. Micah was more of an opportunist, where I guess Henry was just trying to get out. Henry was trying to get out from that life, so I wouldn't say they were the same. Yeah, I remembered that. That was actually one of his best movies, was The Last Castle. Yeah, he was a psycho warden that was power hungry. You ever consider doing a fan mail video? Maybe. Maybe I could set up a P.O. box in the future for something like that. Thank you, Sleep Punch Man. I could watch it, Brendan, yeah. Hey, Archbiscuits, how are you? If I could travel back in time to one time period, the Revolutionary War. I was curious to see what America's founding would be like. What's your question, Seven? I just got back to playing the Walking Dead Telltale games. I was wondering if you're familiar with the series. Yeah, I played Season 1 and 2, but I never played Season 3 and 4. I hope it gets colder. I don't like the, I'm not a fan of the heat. I'm not. Oh, what's your question, Sean? Sean, can you just post your question again? Well, the aristocrats are to blame for most of the problems in Poland. The aristocrats, you know, the Polish Sejm, they caused so many problems historically in Poland. Can I play Hotline Miami? I tried playing it once, but I really sucked at it. I could try practicing it and get better for it in the future. Have I watched the movie Apocalypto? No, I've never seen that one. What do you think is better, spring or fall? Fall. I like fall better. Well, the 1979 revolution in Iran destroyed Iran. It did. It really destroyed Iran. You know, that was the worst thing that could have happened to Iran. If Vito joined the Vinci family, Vito really still wouldn't have grounds to kill Derek, because that was beforehand. But Vinci might force Derek to pay Vito a massive tax. That's what he might force Derek to do. I answered Sean's question, the Hotline Miami one. Yeah, I answered it. Do you have a friendly PvE crew for subs? Not really. I mean, we have the pro crews for GTA Online, but we... I'm sorry, guys. My allergies are just bothering me today a bit. But for the pro crews on GTA Online, we don't really use them. We don't really use them much. So, not really. We don't really use them. When GTA 6 comes out, I might make another crew, maybe. But, yeah. But I'll probably keep it to one crew. Do I have any siblings? I have a half-brother and a half-sister. I heard that in the past recent year, there were still more missing cases in sundown towns. There are still some towns that have been accused of being sundown towns. And the two states that I know is like West Virginia, and then the other one was Montana, I think it was. Federally, it's illegal, so there still might be like a few towns that are sundown towns, but federally it's illegal. And if the federal government ever found out a town was a sundown town, they would go after them really quickly. So like 99% of sundown towns have been stopped, but I'm sure there's still like a few that exist, but it is rare. But that's what I heard is West Virginia has a few of them. Yeah. The 1953 coup in Iran when the Shah came to power? The Shah wasn't a good person, but he was a much better leader than what you had with the supreme leader of Iran. Lincoln's family is more of a crime syndicate. Yeah, I would agree with that. It is kind of a crime syndicate. You know, one thing that I'm, You know, one thing that I don't understand in the Mafia 3 storyline? One thing I don't understand in the Mafia 3 storyline is why Lincoln's lieutenants follow him. Because Lincoln has no gang of his own, really, when you think about it. You know, Lincoln is just relying on the Irish, you know, Vito's Italian Mafia and Cassandra's Haitian, you know, Mafia. So Burke's Irish Mafia, Cassandra's Haitian Mafia, and Vito's Italian Mafia. But he doesn't even have a Mafia, you know, his own gang. And they're just following him. You know, that's just it. I guess that's kind of a plot line they kind of ignored. I guess you could kind of say that he earned their respect, but Lincoln really doesn't have his own gang. That's what I'm basically getting at. Is that a boss would have his own gang. So, like, syndicates, the boss of a syndicate usually has their own gang. Hey, Chaz. There is a streamer who begs people not to use ad blockers, saying that they hurt their streams. Well, look, I'm not I'm not gonna, beg or ask people not to use ad blockers. If people want to use ad blockers, they can, they can do that. But I will say this about my streams, is my stream only has an ad at the start and an ad at the end. And once the stream is uploaded as a video, there's ads that play then in between. But during a stream, you won't see ads in between on my stream, only when it's uploaded as a full video. So that's what I'll say about it. Lincoln is just banking that they're greedy enough to help him take down Marcano, yeah. A lot of you guys have told me that that even when you divide the districts fairly, like you give each person 2 districts, that Cassandra won't stop complaining. Is that true? Like, that's what some people have told me, that even if you divide the districts, like, evenly, Cassandra still complains nonstop. Okay. I guess I'll deliver my target here. What's for dinner? I'm gonna have pizza today. Do you believe it hurts a streamer's page to play only one game or stick to one? Yes. I think that if somebody only plays like one game, right, they are hurting their channel. Not in the short term, but I do think in the long run. Because I will tell you this, the final GTA Online update is coming out in 2 months. So not even in 2 months, probably in a month and a half from now. So the final GTA Online update is going to be a month and a half from now. A lot of channels that do only GTA Online, they're going to have a lot of views that first month when the mansions come out, but after that their views are going to plummet. Because they know there's not going to be any kind of, people know there's not going to be any kind of content on GTA until GTA 6, and so people are going to really largely stop watching GTA content. And I guess a lot of the GTA channels can survive for like half a year until like May, when GTA 6 comes out, but it's generally not a good idea to do only content on one game. It's generally not a good idea. Because you're only going to attract people from that one game, you're never going to branch out, you're never going to find people that are interested in other stuff. Yeah, Mafia 3 really needs fast travel. I agree with you. You know what they should have done for fast travel? They should have done that if you take over a district, you should be able to fast travel to that district. That's what they should do. So it's like when you take it over, you're able to fast travel. Because that is one thing that is annoying about Mafia 3 is you constantly need to drive everywhere. And I hated driving to each person to pick up their take. Like I hated driving to each of them. But Vito's has that upgraded ability where his consigliere will just pick up all of your tribute. So that's good. That's why I like your channel. You play a wide variety of games. Thank you. What do I think? Yeah, 3 districts. You're right. What do I think is the most dangerous criminal organization in the world, and why? That's easy. What is the most dangerous criminal organization in the world? In the world, Mexican cartel. Yeah, Mexican cartel. I think most people can agree with that. Mexican cartel makes the Italian mafia look like a joke today. Like, the Mexican cartel has literally, like, an army. They do. Like, the Mexican cartel even has APCs. Like, even miniature tanks. They have submarines where they sail across the Atlantic Ocean and just, smuggle drugs into Spain. So, literally, they have, there's cartels that have, like, hundreds of soldiers. Hundreds. So, like, literally, the cartels are, like, probably, like, the largest, threat. And not only that, the cartels routinely assassinate politicians. And that almost never happens in America. In America, politicians almost never get assassinated by criminal organizations. Usually when a politician gets assassinated in America, it's usually by some crazy extremist. But it's not usually by criminal organizations. And the reason that criminal organizations don't really assassinate politicians is because they would have so much heat put on them. But in Mexico, they routinely assassinate presidential candidates. Like, I think in the last presidential election, I think there was like 20 candidates that were assassinated in Mexico. That's insane. So, like, in Mexico, they will constantly assassinate mayors, but, police chiefs, stuff like that doesn't really happen in a place like America. So that's what I'll say is that the cartel is probably the largest, threat to the largest criminal organization that's the threat to the world. And the 20. Yeah. I Google it. How many I'll actually Google it right now. Let me just see here. Hang on one second here, because the cartel have assassinated a lot of politicians. Okay, let's see here. Well, I'm seeing 4 politicians assassinated in 2023. Or no, actually way more than this. Hang on. Yeah, no, 5, 6, 7, 7 in 2023. Yeah, and this isn't telling me just presidential candidates, but it's also telling me a lot of mayors and stuff. Yeah, my God, there's an entire Wikipedia page list of politicians killed in the Mexican 2024 elections. My God, this is long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 politicians assassinated in the 2024 elections in Mexico. My God. That's ridiculous. So yeah, that shows you how much power the Mexican cartels have, that they assassinate politicians routinely in Mexico, stuff like that. That is just pure insanity. That's why I will say this: the Mexican government is controlled by cartels. It is. And I'm not trying to offend anybody from Mexico. I love Mexican culture, especially Mexican food. But the Mexican government is just so corrupt. It is. There's just so much corruption. And if somebody does not play ball in Mexico, they get killed. That's what happens to them. If you don't play ball at the cartel, you get killed in Mexico. So that's it. It is literally a country that is run and controlled by the cartels. It's ridiculous. Pro, it's been 2 months since I've been inactive on PSN. I've been making in real life friends focusing on the hobby. I was inactive too long. Would I be deleted? No, Mark. I'm not going to delete you from your friends list. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And it's good. I'm happy that you're doing stuff that you enjoy. Cartels also have tolls on roads. That is true. Cartels do block highways in Mexico, and they force you to pay a toll to go through. Well, I use Windows 10. On this computer, I use Windows 10. I'm never going to upgrade to Windows 11. I'm fine with Windows 10. It's been over a month since my dad passed, and I'm not going to lie. I'm scared for Thanksgiving because it's been my first without him. I just feel anxious about it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sweet Pumpkin. You have my condolences. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, losing a parent is never easy. I'm sorry. I hope everything is okay on Thanksgiving for you. Would you consider the Polish winged hussars one of those warriors who were cool in popular culture but were massive scumbags in actual history, like the Vikings and the samurai? Yeah, the thing is you have the Polish winged hussars, which are probably the most iconic cavalry soldier in history. Like, out of all the cavalry soldiers that have existed in history, the Polish winged hussars are probably the most iconic one. The most iconic warrior that has ever existed in history is a samurai. There's no doubt about it. The most iconic naval soldier that has existed in history, the Vikings. So Vikings for naval, the most iconic. Polish, winged hussars for the cavalry, and samurai for warriors. But what I will say about this, the samurai, the winged hussars, and the Vikings, all three of them have something in common. And all three of them they were all massive scumbags. That's what they were. Like, people look at the Vikings and they say they were cool, but the Vikings, what they did is the Vikings were basically savage looters. The Vikings would come into villages and towns and they would just massacre everybody, kill everybody, the women, the kids. They would butcher kids with axes. That's what the Vikings did, and they would just basically steal everything in a town. And sometimes what they would do is they would extort towns where they wouldn't necessarily kill them, but what they would do is the Vikings maybe would land on some coastal town in France, and they would like go up to this French town, and they would basically force everybody, the town, to basically give them everything, like, you know, food, materials, gold, and then what they would do is they would come back a month later and demand all that stuff again, basically just like the mafia, extortion. The Winged Hussars, a lot of people like the Polish Winged Hussars, and the Polish Winged Hussars, they did fight in battles, and they did do some good accomplishments. Like, you know, the Winged Hussars were instrumental in helping to defeat the Ottomans. When the Ottomans had invaded Vienna in 1683, they did, you know, help turn the tide and push back the Ottomans. However, though, there was a lot of Winged Hussars that were also massive scumbags. A lot of the Winged Hussars were aristocrats. They were noblemen. So they were born in specific privileged families. And what the Winged Hussars would do is the Winged Hussars would actually sit up on hills. They would sit up on hills, and they would just send in the peasant infantry. The peasant infantry were basically peasants that were conscripted into the Polish military, and they would basically just send in the peasants to fight. And then when the peasants were like, half of them were dead already from the fighting, the Winged Hussars would then swoop in, and they would claim victory for the battle. So that's stuff that the Winged Hussars did. As for the samurai were no different. The samurai were basically aristocrats and, you know, nobles in feudal Japan, and the samurai would basically go into villages, and they would basically steal everything. They would tax villages at like 50% of their money and all their crops. They would steal all that stuff from them, and they would say, we're your lords, so we can tax you however we want. And if you, in Japan, up until the Meiji era, there was a law that if you insulted a samurai, it was a death penalty. That's what it was. If you offended a samurai, it was a death penalty. And so offending a samurai would not even always be cursing them out. You know, offending a samurai might be like a samurai coming into your village and demanding like half of the stuff in your house, and you don't give it. You say, no, I'm not giving you that, and that they might feel offended by that and kill you. And so that's like a lot of people got executed by samurais in Japan. So like the samurais were massive scumbags. And what people don't understand about like honor in Japan in that time period is very different than like the modern meaning of honor that we view and we believe. Like, you know, when it comes to honor, you know, what do I consider honor to be? I consider honor to be being an honest person, you know, not being greedy, you know, being honest, you know, keeping your word. You know, stuff like that I consider to be honorable. Like keeping your word, not being selfish, not being greedy, you know, doing the right thing by others. That is generally what I consider honor and what a lot of other people consider honor. However, though, back then, that was not what they considered honor. What they considered honor back then was basically whatever your lord said. That is basically what honor is. So it's whatever your lord says. So if your lord basically tells you to go and massacre a village of people in feudal Japan, that's what was considered honorable back then. Not obeying your lord and saying to your lord, I'm not going to kill those people. That would actually be considered dishonorable. So whatever your lord tells you to do is what's considered honorable. That's what honorable was in Japan. It was whatever your lord tells you to do, you do it. And if you don't do it, that's not honorable. So there was honor was just seen very differently in Japan, and that's kind of what Ghost of Yotei was trying to get at. And not just Ghost of Yotei, Ghost of Tsushima. They were criticizing this ridiculous honor system that existed in Japan. And also, like in Ghost of Tsushima, you have to remember that you know, Jin was asked early in the story in Ghost of Tsushima, what do you consider honor to be? And Jin says, protecting the weak and protecting people in your country who cannot protect themselves. That is what Jin said was honorable. And I remember Lord Sakai, he says, you have a good heart, but our first loyalty is the Shogun. That's really what he says is our loyalty is to the Shogun. And ultimately, I will say this, if we followed Lord Shimura's advice, like if Jin had listened to Lord Shimura throughout the story in Ghost of Tsushima, Tsushima would have been lost. The Mongolians would have won. And the Mongolians exploited the honor system that the samurai had used. So that was basically it, is if you followed the Lord Shimura's advice, literally Japan would have been conquered by the Mongolians. You think Jesus was born, Santa still worked? Wait, what are you asking me? Dice Mato Carol? Thank you for the super chat. You should try Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2. I should. Um, one thing I really gotta try watching Kingdom Come Deliverance is I'm really curious what the humans are like in Kingdom Come Deliverance, because the humans are my ancestors. That's who I'm directly related to, and so I'm really curious how the humans are portrayed in Kingdom Come Deliverance. But the humans, a lot of them were mercenaries or they were bandits. They were pretty, they were really good at cavalry. They were really good at horse archery. Like horse archery, they mastered it. They were so good at horse archery. But some of the humans were very brutal. They were very ruthless also. But I gotta check out Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I will comment on that one day if I play it, because I'm really curious how the humans are portrayed like as. But I understand is that even though I'm related to the humans, I do understand my ancestors did some pretty bad things in that time, so they were. But I'm not related to the Hungarian humans. I'm more related to the Polish humans. So that's who I was related to, but it's still, I guess, technically the same group.
Lord Almighty. Are you out your damn mind?
What are the odds that Jesus was born on Christmas? Wait, what are you... I'm confused. What are you asking me, Carol? I'm confused. Your questions are just strange. Who's the most evil in Ghost of Tsushima? Probably the Khan. Well, I think Henry leaked the deal to Falcone. That's what I think happened. I think he was gonna keep... I think Henry was planning on keeping the money. Yeah, I know, Chaz, but... You know, Jesus was born on Christmas, but I'm a bit confused what Carol is asking me. You know, you're asking me something that... I'm tired of life? Don't ever say that. Life is worth living. Sam Fisher versus the Cartel, who would win? Sam Fisher. Do I think real-life Pinkerton would catch the Dutch gang sooner? Possibly. The Pinkertons were pretty ruthless in the things that they did. You're doing bounty missions, yeah. Did you know the pole arms that shoot fire in Ghost of Yotei are called fire lances? They were basically the earliest form of firearms originally from China. Yeah, the Mongolians actually used them too. They took advantage of that. Thank you, Cube. And Angelo. Hey, Metin. What's up, dude? I like Mafia 3. I'm generally enjoying it. I don't know why so many people hate Mafia 3. I thought it was a decent game. I thought the earliest firearm was used by the Romans that would use basically giant torches. Well, I think it was in China. I'm pretty sure it was in China. Gunpowder, I think that's where it was invented. Do you like learning about the 17th and 18th centuries firearms like arquebuses, the wheel-lock muskets, hand mortars, yeah, and the matchlock and the flintlock? Yeah, but I will say, you know what my favorite historical firearms were? My favorite historical firearms period, I would say, is probably between the Civil War to the early 1900s is probably my favorite period of historical firearms. And the reason I like that time period so much is because you start seeing some really weird designs, because like around that time there's all these different countries and companies that were experimenting with all these different rifle and pistol designs, and so you saw some really weird, strange designs in that time. So that's, if you ever watch Pawn Stars, on Pawn Stars they have like a lot of these really weird guns, like these different weird mechanisms, and that was like when they were experimenting with like different firearm types. Good night, Pro. I go break my bed frame legs. Well, good night, Cube. Have a good sleep. I'll see you, dude. What's your recommendation with narcissistic coworkers? Narcissistic coworkers? The best way is to just not deal with them. Not talk to them. But sometimes you have to. Private question for you. Are you a serious person? I guess, in a way. People always say I'm a serious person. It's just my personality. It's just I am who I am. Yeah, I guess in a way, but what Mafia 3 might have some repetitive gameplay, but what Mafia 3 does good is all the activities. It has the most activities out of any of the Mafia games. There's definitely that. Do I like Michael Jackson's music? I've never really heard it much. I know I've heard Beat It before, but I haven't heard the other songs. But watching your videos are very therapeutic, Pro. Thank you, Sweet Pumpkin. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. I really hate fake YouTuber personality. You're so annoying. Yeah, I agree with you on that. What was your question, 7? What game will I play for Halloween? I don't know yet. I have to think about that. I still have to really think about that. Pro, the streets is cold. Like it says in the book, we are blessed and cursed. Same things make us laugh, make us cry. Big Smoke. Big Smoke from San Andreas. Do I think hand mortars were effective weapons? Are you talking about like that flintlock, kind of like grenade launcher, that gun that would it was like a gun with this giant large barrel and it would fire like a projectile and it would just explode? Is that what you're talking about, Gunner? Why do you think Leo Galante never became a Don? Because he didn't want a target on his back. He saw what happened to his father. I'm not father, grandfather. Father and grandfather, actually. Pro, I watched an old video of yours, and you talked about a rifle that you would have liked in Red Dead Redemption. Which was it and why? Oh, the Mosin Nagant. I think the Mosin Nagant would have been a perfect rifle to add to Red Dead Redemption 2, because Mosin Nagant would exist in this time period. It 100% would. And people say Mosin Nagant will be out of place because it's a Russian rifle, but you have to remember a Carcano's out of place too. That's an Italian rifle. So it would make no sense for that to be in the West, but it was still there. It's a more of a period era firearm, but yeah, the Mosin Nagant is a gun I really would have loved to see in Red Dead. Maybe some kind of Mauser gun, a Mauser rifle too. Maybe a Mauser bolt action would have been, you could have seen one too. Yeah, Lord of War is a movie I like. Yeah, Mauser 98. The most evil in Ghost of Tsushima was the Khan. Yeah, but we can't hope for any, guns to be added to Red Dead anymore, Chaz. Rockstar's pretty much done with that, unfortunately. What I was asking before, basically before, was Jesus was born. Did Santa still deliver gifts, or did he only start doing that after Jesus was born? What do I think? Well, Santa, that was Saint Nicholas, who was a real person, and Saint Nicholas would leave gifts at people's doorsteps on Christmas. But I don't know that much about Saint Nicholas. That I don't know much about him. I would have to research him, but I know he was a real person, that he left gifts at people's homes on Christmas, but I don't know much more about him. I'm sorry on that, Daisamoto Carol. Ian Watkins, that name sounds familiar. Who is that? The flintlock grenade launcher. Yeah, that gun actually appears in the TV show turned Washington Spies. If you watch that one, you can see the weapon being fired in that one. There's Caleb Brewster. He fires that grenade launcher at a British line. Battlefield 6 any good? It's okay. I haven't really played much in the multiplayer, a few matches, but I played the single player. It's okay, the single player. Ian Watkins was the singer of the band Lost Prophets. He's one of the biggest scumbags ever. I don't know celebrities that well. That's probably why I didn't know him. Would I rather work for Leviticus Cornwall or Thomas Edison? Thomas Edison. Yeah, Thomas Edison. Edison was a bit of a scumbag too, but Cornwall would probably be worse. I would play Call of Juarez as the cartel one day too, yeah. Yeah, it was a very light mortar. It was a mortar that only one guy could use, Gunner. I do know about that. Yeah. I know it's more for multiplayer than single player. Did you hear about the Kiss band? One of them passed away. Yes, I did hear about that. Have I ever experienced an earthquake in real life? One time. Many years ago. This is how long ago there was a small earthquake in New York. I felt it when I was a kid, but the ground rumbled a little bit. That was basically it. It was like that New York earthquake that happened some time ago.
Why don't you just leave? You're as good as dead.
Okay, Brandon, we could do it. Yeah, I heard about that. Modern Warfare 4 is going to be the Korean War. I don't know how true that's going to be. I guess we'll have to see. Lincoln does have the makings of a varsity athlete, huh? No, I haven't gotten the chance, Gunner. I've been pretty busy. Will I play for the new 007 game? Probably, yeah. When is the Warriors 20th anniversary? What is it? The game? Oh, yesterday it already happened. Okay, well, I guess I'm not gonna make it then. I gotta watch the movie. I will, before the end of the year, I'll watch the Warriors, and I can then play it, I guess. Cassandra is the most annoying of the lieutenants. Yeah, people have been complaining about her. Well, I gotta look into it, Gunner. Definitive Edition is a lot better now, yeah. Than what it was. When's your next membership stream? I will announce it this weekend when it's gonna be. 2 days ago, Saints Row 2 turned 17 years old. And today, Bully turns 19. Yep. And next year, we'll have the 20th anniversary of Saints Row 1. Crazy, right? Thank you, DHC. Yeah, Mafia 3 has some of those evil characters in the series. And I could do a playthrough for Watch Dogs 2 when that you know, the 10-year anniversary. Yeah, could do that. It came out in 2016, I remember that. Well, I gotta check it out when I get the time, Gunner. Yeah, Mafia 3 does have some of the most evil characters. My birthday's next Thursday. Happy early birthday, Nathan. This game had a lot of potential, Matthias, but they unfortunately screwed this game over. No, but people have requested that I play the Punisher game. There's a prank going viral where the Uber Eats driver orders the same meal as the customer and pretends to eat their food. That's stupid. That's stupid. Why would... That's a good way to get banned from Uber Eats also. Nolan North. Isn't that the guy who plays in the Rookie? Isn't that the same guy who plays in that? I should probably go and check out my moonshine. Okay, and I was thinking of someone else. And also, guys, next week is the 20th anniversary of Liberty City Stories. We'll be playing Liberty City Stories for that. I can imagine a lot of people would, London. I mean, Remy Duval is a massive scumbag.
Bonjour, patron.
No problem, Brandon.
So, what shall we create?
Yeah, it's been like what 4 or 5 years since I did Liberty City Stories.
There are things you could do to lower the price, huh?
Kind of crazy we'll be coming back to the game.
C'est agréable. Now we wait. Au revoir, patron. Good to see you.
Quake, isn't that Xbox exclusive? I can still play it, but... Do I think I'll get close to 2 billion before GTA 6? Nah. I'm not... If I was pushing it, yeah, I probably could hit it. Oh, I didn't know he voiced Don Clementi also, Mr. 159. No, I've never seen that show, Travis. It's on PC. Okay, Quake. Who's the most evil DLC antagonist in Mafia 3? I guess probably the sheriff, because the sheriff has done the most amount of damage.
We seen each other since that last thing? That was good.
Yeah, Bonnie was really, Bonnie was really bad.
Hell, I do not have the time to go over.
People said the first Shell Shock game was the best one, but
There's work.
I would play both of them one day.
But take this note, and it'll tell you what.
Well, Assassin's Creed Rogue is one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games.
And to do it now. Go on then. Go ahead.
This isn't my horse. Yeah, I maxed out the weed on my last part. I'm gonna upload it tomorrow. Wait, what are you talking about, London? I think him being arrested is a lot worse, Gunner. And what, Mafia 3, London? Who'd win, the Rippers or Bonnie's satanic cult? Probably the Rippers, that, honestly. Rippers just have way more people. Yeah, and Colonel Garrett might have been kind of based on him, when you think about that. But you know who I always thought that Colonel Garrett symbolizes in Days Gone? I always thought that Colonel Garrett symbolizes the Antichrist in Days Gone. That's at least what I always thought he was. And the reason I think that way is because Colonel Garrett is like a religious extremist, and he acts like he's a good guy. He acts like he's this big savior of humanity, and a lot of people see him as like a savior, but the thing about the Antichrist would be somebody that's pretending to be a savior, somebody that people look up to, but has ulterior evil motives, actually. And that's kind of what Colonel Garrett was. He was like this guy that was masquerading as like this religious figure that was, trying to supposedly save humanity when all he was doing is he was planning genocide. So that's what I would say about Colonel Garrett, is I always thought that Colonel Garrett was kind of like the Antichrist in Days Gone. Had a lot of good memories in the PS2 when I was a kid. I think Schizo was the most hated character in all of Days Gone. Schizo is basically Micah of Days Gone. Would you guys agree with that? Like, I think Schizo is Micah of Days Gone. Also, the thing about Schizo is, Schizo, if you look inside Schizo's cabin, there's a note in Schizo's cabin that says that he is an honor student. That's what it is, that he was an honor student. And he lied about that. He said that before the apocalypse that he was like a gangster from California that smuggled drugs. That's what he said. That's what he told Iron Mike. And that was only to make it seem like he was some tough guy, but he was literally an honor student that worked in an office building. That's who he was before the apocalypse. And when the apocalypse happened, it basically all went to his head, and he thought he was some big shot. That's the backstory of Schizo. Smuggling guns is probably that, yeah, Adrian. No, Lendon, I cannot imagine somebody like Schizo actually working with gangs. I think they would eat him alive. So, like, literally, a lot of gangsters would have killed Schizo if they were dealing with him. So, literally, I cannot imagine him even being a gangster. And they would kill him because they find him annoying and stupid. That's probably it. So, like, yeah, Schizo was just a joke. That's what Schizo was. He was, like, a giant joke. Also, out of all the people in the militia in Days Gone, Captain Curry is the one who has the most common sense. Like, out of all the militia members, he has the most common sense out of everybody. Like so many militia members are so stupid in Days Gone. I'm actually surprised they survived as long as they did, considering how stupid so many of them were. Well, yeah. I remember when Captain Curry captures, like, Deacon, and then he's like, we're not going back. I mean, like, did you hear what the colonel's like, batshit crazy? He's like, holy war, genocide with the F, man. That's what he says. Like, I remember his whole line. Because, like, Captain Curry realized how stupid the colonel was. He had, like, the most common sense out of everyone. Oh, and something that's something that's not talked about in Days Gone, that a lot of people don't know this in Days Gone, but Captain Curry was actually in love with Sarah. A lot of people don't know that. He was in love with Sarah. That's actually the reason that he kept the ring. He kept the ring because he was hoping to give it to Sarah one day, because he knew that that it was hers. And how you know that how he loved Sarah is because if you when you get that cutscene when Deacon and Sarah drive into the camp and Deacon and Sarah kiss, like, Captain Curry looks to the side, he looks, like, sad. He's like, it's not like an angry look, it's like a sad look. Like, he's clearly saddened if you look at his face on that. And he realizes that Deacon and Sarah are actually in a couple. That's what he realizes. So it's not, like, outright stated, but it's, like, heavily hinted at that. So that's what it was about. But Captain Curry ultimately is a good guy, because he lost his wife, and he realized what Deacon was going through. Wait, what do you mean, TY? Hide near the poker game. I am. What am I doing now? Oh, Tucker was the worst camp leader in Days Gone, yeah. Oh, did everyone else leave? I'm the only one here left? Okay. Ah, damn. Okay, this is bad right now. Damn. Come on. Oh man, I'm gonna keep getting spawned on the other end of this bridge. And my horse is nowhere. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this target now. Oh my god. You take a 30-40 Krag shot to the chest, you'd be dead. Man, this guy is still... Man, this guy ran far. How much more are you gonna keep running? Damn, these trees are all getting in the way of this.
What in the hell? Get this goddamn rope off me!
Okay, now I gotta go back there and get the bounty wagon. It's a shame they gave us support on this game. Yes, they did. This game had so much potential to... Excuse me, I'm sorry, everyone. My allergies are just acting up a bit. Have I ever played Oblivion? Oh, yeah. I loved Oblivion. I played so much of it. It was probably my most played game on the PS3 back in 2006. I played Oblivion so much as a kid. I did.
Jesus Christ.
Damn. Where is all these guys coming from? Oh, man. Okay, this is ridiculous. How many enemies are in this single mission? Like, this is ridiculous, yeah. Ever tired of constantly answering questions? Not really, no. That's what I do, what I'm good at. I like responding to you guys, talking to you guys. I'm getting a bit annoyed at these enemies. There's so many of them, and I don't know why nobody else connected with me. I guess everyone got disconnected or something, but... Oh my god. Okay, nobody's shooting at me anymore. Oh, Come on. I'm losing honor for killing them? Really? Well, they keep starting crap with me. Come on. They don't stop spawning. Like, where are they all coming from? This is ridiculous. Like, how many enemies are in this one mission? Like, I haven't ever seen this many enemies in a single mission. God. Okay, come on. There's more. And there's more over here, too. Like, are you guys seeing this right now? Like, how many people I've killed already? This is ridiculous. I told you what I'm doing. I'm sorry, Brandon. I guess I just didn't see your comment. I'm not mad at I'm not mad at my posse for leaving. It's fine. You guys had some things to do. It's okay. I'm just more pissed at the mission that, like, so many people are spawning here. Finally, out of there. That was ridiculous. I think they are, yeah, they're spawning from Thieves Landing, primarily. The Del Lobos are there, but... Bolt action might not be the best choice. I would have gone with M240 machine gun. That's what I would have done. If only we were playing on PC, we would be modding the game. There's people that they make these single-player mods where they add, like, these crazy assault rifles and machine guns to Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes, I have Raphael games. Thank you, Chaz, for the super chat. Most hated character in the Walking Dead Telltale games? Carter is his name. Was it Carter? I think it was too. He was pretty bad. I haven't played season 3 and 4, so I don't know there, but DDoSing should be illegal. It is illegal. The problem is that nobody ever gets prosecuted for it. The only people who ever get prosecuted for DDoSing are when they DDoS companies. When you get large companies that get DDoS, they get prosecuted for it. But if you get DDoS in a game, it is illegal. But almost no one ever, no one ever gets actually prosecuted for it. I think they should, but it almost never happens. Yeah, I think Larry is the character that people hate the most. Yeah, people really hate Larry. I remember that too. Yeah, Larry was really hated. I'm terribly sorry, Pro. I didn't have any questions for you, so I apologize. You don't have to apologize, Jeremy. It's fine, dude. Rent, Pro. Yeah, like Mr. Ditkovich. Ever get into sports betting? Not really, no. I did bet money, last year. Not a lot of money, but I bet, like, what was it, like, I bet $80 on Mike Tyson in the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. I lost that. I thought that Mike Tyson would beat Jake Paul. Yeah, I know it does a little bit like that, London. It used to be a lot more, but then Rockstar nerfed it because the damage was just too much. Yeah. I know, I was pissed too, Chaz. I was a bit annoyed too. But it is what it is. I really thought that Mike Tyson was gonna win that fight, but I got screwed over, yeah. Well, a lot of people have told me that fight was rigged. I don't know how rigged it was. Do you guys think the fight was rigged, the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight? I don't know. I don't know that. But a lot of people have told me it's rigged. What do you think of Jane Fonda's visit to North Vietnam? It was stupid. She basically betrayed America by doing that. She's a traitor. Yes, they did, Chaz, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Some people say the fight was rigged. Some people say it wasn't. I'm a gangster, not you. That's from Kitchen Nightmares. Sammy says that to Gordon. I remember that one. Yeah, some people say it's rigged, London. I don't know. I know that Mike Tyson is past his prime. I fully understand that, but Mike Tyson is a fighter with like decades of experience. I thought that he would have like, you know, put up a better fight against Jake Paul. Why would Jane Fonda go to Vietnam? Because she was stupid. She went to North Vietnam when America was at war with them, and she betrayed her country. She's stupid. She's an idiot. And you want to know something? The stupidest thing that Jane Fonda did when she visited North Vietnam, it wasn't even the anti-aircraft gun pictures that she took, because she took pictures where she sat on a North Vietnamese anti-aircraft gun that was used to target planes. That's not even the stupidest thing she did. The stupidest thing that she did is she said that there was no torture in North Vietnam. And what she did was, she visited a bunch of American prisoners, and the American prisoners who she visited, they all told her, oh, we're being treated humanely, we're not being tortured, and then Jane came back to America, and she's like, oh, look, that's proof that there's no torture in North Vietnam. She's stupid. She's an idiot. Like, you know, if you honestly believe that there was that the communists weren't torturing prisoners in the Vietnam War, you're an idiot. And that's Jane Fonda, she was just like a useful idiot to them. What an idiot. How could you believe that North Vietnam wasn't torturing people? Like, what kind of idiot would believe that they weren't torturing people? Yeah, I know, you're supposed to hit triangle at the right moment too, Lendon. Because Sammy was just a scumbag, Brandon. No, what is that, Walt? Thank you, Scorpion, for subscribing to my channel. Which execution in Mafia 3 is the most satisfying? My favorite execution in Mafia 3 is when you knock them to the ground and you hold them down with your foot and then shoot them in the head with the M1 Garand. That's probably my favorite execution. What are your thoughts on Las Vegas in general? I liked it. It was the best. Las Vegas was the best largest city that I've ever been to in my life. Out of all the large cities I've ever been to, it definitely was the best one out of all of them. Yeah, and that's what surprised me too, Chaz. As somebody who's from New York, I couldn't believe how clean downtown Las Vegas was. Like, I literally was just so surprised by that, because where I come from, it is just New York City. There's every part of it can be very dirty. And so I was generally surprised that Las Vegas was just so so clean. What time is it? For me, it's 12:09 a.m. Oh, damn. She had 3 2s. Well, yeah, Las Vegas was generally a good city. My parents are considering moving there next year, so my parents are retiring, and they do want to move next fall, next winter, so they want to move, and they're considering heavily Las Vegas. Do I think Vegas is dead due to the greedy corporations? I've heard about that tourism is down in Vegas. And honestly, it's a good thing. If tourism is down in Vegas, it's good, because a lot of these greedy companies and casinos are going to have to lower their prices. Because Las Vegas is heavily inflated. Like, when I visited Las Vegas, I visited last year, I did spend a good amount of money. And I wasn't even gambling. I was just like, you know, going to eat with my friends, visiting stores, stuff like that. And I spent a good amount of money in Las Vegas. So yeah, it is a pretty expensive city. Pro, thanks. Let me your mod on your channel, and will you share my Halloween stream. Wait. Pro thinks let me your mod on your channel. Wait, what was the first part? And yeah, I'll share your Halloween stream, Brandon. Why not Florida? Florida's too hot for me. No. I got really good cards here, but no pairs. Oh. Well, probably Richie Duche say is probably the best execution so far. Oh, damn. Oh, look at this. Okay, I'm definitely gonna win this now. Aren't casinos owned by the Mafia? Not today anymore, no. We both had ace high straight. Wow. Pro, I mean, thanks. Oh, okay, Brandon. There's a picture of John Lennon wearing a North Vietnamese flag shirt in 1971. Well, I didn't know about that, but if that's true, then John Lennon is stupid. Tropicana was owned by the Mafia? I didn't know that. In Macau, most of the casinos are owned by the triads. Oh. A lot of organized crime, they get into casinos because it's a good way to hide money. Yeah, Tropicana did get torn down, I know that, but, what is it, I don't really like hippies. They aren't anti-war, they are anti-US. Yeah, this is what I will say about this. I'll go in with this, let's see here. Hopefully I get a king. Are you gonna play a new Dying Light game? Probably not, I probably won't have time for it right now. I'm playing a lot of games, but in the future I could get to it. Let's see here. Can I get a king? Please give me a king. King. Please, a king. A king. Okay, well, I got it. I still got the best, hand here. Oyo should have gotten knocked down with Tropica since it's right next door. Yeah, and I mean, well, what we went through with Oyo, that was a nightmare. You guys saw my casino review on Oyo? Like, the Oyo review? Like, that was the worst hotel I've ever stayed at in my life. Oh my god, the horror. That place was horrible. Horrible. And you guys should have, you know what the craziest thing that happened during my stay at Oyo? The most insane thing? My moderator Chaz, he was actually there with me when it happened. But basically the most insane thing that happened at Oyo, it wasn't even really the fire alarm. The fire alarm was annoying, ridiculous. But the most insane thing ever was the hotel breakup. I was in an elevator. And we were in an elevator going down, and it was the most awkward thing ever. This woman, she was on, FaceTime. That's the thing where you video call people. She was on FaceTime with her boyfriend, and she was just basically breaking up with him in the elevator. Like, literally where we could see his face, and he could see us standing in the elevator, and she was yelling at him. And he wasn't even really arguing with her, but she was saying, it's not about you, it's about me, it's my birthday, you're supposed to be here for me, not for them, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what she was saying, but she was just going off on him, yelling at him. And the thing is, I was actually recording on my phone before that, because I was recording the elevators, and I was considering recording that, but I was scared that if she caught me recording that she would freak out and start cursing me out, so I just turned it off. But that was, yeah, I remember that. She said to her boyfriend, "You can stay your ass in Vegas." I remember that. That was ridiculous too. And the thing is, her boyfriend, he wasn't even like sad that she was breaking up with him. Like, I saw his face in the FaceTime. He was more like, "What the F?" Like, he was just staring at her like, "What the hell?" Like, that's what he was like. he was like looking at that. That was like, I don't even know what that was about. If it was her fault or his fault or what it was, but it was just a weird, weird thing that, yeah, it happened. This girl was breaking up with her boyfriend in the elevator when I was sitting in the elevator with her. That was ridiculous. It's like, don't you think you should do that privately, like in your room when you're calling somebody, not like in a public place like an elevator? But that's just, oh man, yeah. Somebody might have a flush here, but let's... Oh, wow. Ace heart. I should have known he would have a flush, yeah. Damn. I might review the next one I go to DHC, but I guess we'll see. I don't really want to get into that, Steve. I don't really speak politics. The only thing I'll say is I don't really have much hope for the New York mayor elections. So, 3, 5, and 8. Ace and Jack. Yeah, next week we'll start, Liberty State Stories. Oh, Dana, I'm sorry I didn't see your super chat. When will I play Mafia 2 Jimmy DLC? Before the end of the year. I'm gonna have it out too before the end of the year. Love the current event videos. There'll be a current event videos probably tomorrow, another one. Damn. Do I like the Battlefield 6 campaign? It's okay. Let's try this. Oh, he's really sure of his cards. Oh, man. Damn, that sucks. Okay, gonna quit here. Yeah, I know they fleet. It's annoying chasing them down, London. I actually can't believe Battlefield 6 is gonna have Battle Royale. Actually, generally surprised by that. Do you know the Soviet ergonomist Trof and Lysenko believed if you plant crops of the same breed close together, they will actually help each other grow? What? Okay. I'll answer. I guess I'm probably going to go here, have dinner, and then probably go to sleep. I'll have another Mafia 3 part later today. Well, it's already today, midnight. So I'll have another Mafia 3 part earlier today. What's your question, April? Anybody want to ask me any questions, I'll answer before I go. If you guys enjoyed this stream, drop a like. If you're new to my channel and enjoy my content, subscribe to me. Scariest character in the Outlast series behind Gluskin, Chris Walker. I'll see you, Phoenix. Yeah, I just popped their tires, London. I can't stand it when you have to chase down those NPCs. They get really annoying. Charcoal or propane? I actually don't even know. I don't, like, people say that charcoal tastes better than propane. I've never really had much barbecue, so I wouldn't know. Maybe I could Goku, yeah. Propane of propane accessories, huh? What's my game of the year so far? This year probably Ghost of Yote. Maybe Mafia of the Old Country. Mafia of the Old Country. It's gonna be a hard decision between Mafia of the Old Country and Ghost of Yote. I'm enjoying both games. It's nice being here all the way with you, my man. Love your video and you're awesome YouTuber. And you're always awesome. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you. Have I finished the Mafia 3 DLCs? Yes, all of them. I finished them. I'm getting a Makarov blanket soon. What? Makarov, what, from Call of Duty? Or the handgun? Oblivion Remaster? Yeah. That could be a contender also. The villain from Modern Warfare 3. Okay. I gotta look at it first, Brandon. Yeah, I might not make it to play Black Ops 2 before Black Ops 7 comes out. I'll try to see if I can get to it before Black Ops 7 comes out. But it might be a little tough. I could look into it also, Adrian. What's your question, Mystical? What's Zach's question? Let me see. After watching Hell of a Boss, would you endorse the creator Vivian Madrano? I didn't watch really much of Hell of a Boss. I watched the scenes that you sent me with that evil mafia kid I did, but it does seem like a show that I would watch. It has kind of like more dark humor in its cartoon elements. No, I'm not grinding for 2 billion in GTA Online. I missed GTA lore videos. Well, I'll tell you this. In November, we'll have a GTA lore video. Because the next lore video I'm doing is the next lore video that I'm doing will be Tucker in Days Gone, talking about her camp. And then after that, I'll do the Zero lore video in San Andreas. Are you ignoring my chats? No, Landon, I'm not ignoring anything. I saw your comment. You're telling me about how the NPC informants try to run away. I told you I try to shoot their tires a lot of times in Mafia 3. Maybe, Snowy M. But my father and me, we talked and we decided we were gonna go in May there. Okay, I'll see you, Brandon. I enjoyed your GTA 4 Lost and Damned playthrough, but are there any movies that center around bikers? Not really. I know there's Sons of Anarchy, which is a bikers TV show, but I don't know about movies that are around bikers. Not really. London, is there anything you also wanted to ask me? My favorite character in Call of Duty? Probably Reznov. Yeah, Reznov, probably my favorite one. Why is there a delay in the Mafia 3 videos? I've just been busy with a lot of stuff, but I'm going to have... And Battlefield 6 is almost done. Battlefield 6 is going to be done soon. And when Battlefield 6 is done, I'll be able to put out Mafia 3 videos more quickly, too. Is the filter on? No, it's not. Curse you, Berkeley. Curse you, yep. Get their car and then drive like a madman like Burke. Wait, so you can basically intimidate them by getting into their car? Mafia 3, I didn't know that. Not tonight, General. Later in the week, I will be. But I guess I'll can I offer you a Maibatsu monstrosity? Those car names. Oh, come on, dude. Damn. The guy is level 5. He couldn't even kill me in one shot to the head. Is he just hiding in there right now? Oh, there, officers. You should thank me for this. Whoa, what the hell? Seriously. Oh my god, the police. A guy just shot up the police station and I restrained him and the police were like, yeah, we're gonna kill you now. Oh, Brezhnev was definitely scum. My least favorite 3D GTA game? I don't think I really have one. Maybe GTA 3 because it has the least amount of stuff to do, but all of them are generally good games. But I guess I'll be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and, oh, yeah. I mean, I just prefer to personally capture them on in stealth, London. I try to do everything stealth. Oh, and thank you, Hamzat, for sponsoring my channel. But I guess I'll be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll have another Mafia 3 part up later today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day, guys.